Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. Channel likes try anything, so you don't have to. This video is going to be about what I wore in June as my daily driven watch over the 30 days that did occur during the month of June. Now, as you can see from what is this screenshot behind me, I wore in June over the 30 days the CASIO W-59, which has a module number of 590. Now, the only thing I will say, it was an eBay purchase, so it's got some battle scars on it. And what I did try originally was wearing the strap that came with it, which was a non-CASIO strap, but it did break after a couple of days. So I did manage to get hold of what is a genuine CASIO strap for this watch, and I will take into account what it is like to wear, or I will mention what it's like to wear with the actual CASIO strap on there, because I know in the review video that I've linked to in the description box below and the tutorial, it did have a non-standard strap that comes with this watch, but in this instance I can talk about what it's like to wear with this strap, so you'll get a better understanding of what this watch is like to wear. So as I say, this is a CASIO W-59, and in terms of comfort, I've got to be honest, it's been great. Now, it goes as no surprise, and I've got my notes here just to refer to, it goes as no surprise, I like these sort of watches, and I never really used to. I mean, obviously I did wear these sort of watches like the CASIO F91 and stuff like that growing up through the 80s and 90s. And I started to wear bigger watches, but I've grown through doing YouTube and through talking about Casio watches and other watches on the channel. I have gained an appreciation for these types of watches. I do think they're really good value, really easy to use and very easy to wear. And this is no exception really. This has been fantastic on my wrist. It's been, I'm just going to refer to it, it's been super comfortable. It's along the same lines as what I've said in the Casio F91 video that I did in January, well, what was uploaded at the start of February. It was a great watch to wear. There was no discomfort, no inhibitions on my wrist, you know, move my wrist around or anything like that. It was just fantastic. And if you do have a Casio 91W or the F105 or the W86H, it's very much the same type of watch in terms of what it's like on your wrist. It is super comfortable. It's just great. Now I'm going to show you, I'm just going to pop to what would be my left or your right, the size of this watch, just so you get an idea how big this watch is, or how, you know, like how it might fit your wrist. And I've got to say, it's not a big watch by any exception really. It is a nice size really, and I would imagine it would fit a lot of wrists. Now if you've got a massive wrist and you've got a massive arm, then it may look a little bit too small on there. And on my 6.5 inch wrist, I had no problems wearing this whatsoever, and it just went on really well. I didn't have to mess about with trying to find the right hole to make it too tight or too loose. It was just perfect on the wrist, and it was super comfortable. So if you are considering something like this in terms of comfort factor, then a watch of this type or the W-59, yeah, it's super comfortable on the wrist. Now, it is lightweight as well, and I'm just popping the weight of this watch, so you do tend to forget you're wearing it as well, which to me, I quite like. I like the fact that I don't have to film my watch throughout the day with whatever I'm doing, and it doesn't get in the way of whatever I'm doing. So if I'm doing gardening or anything like that, you know, or anything that involves manual labour, this watch does not get in the way, and it didn't really. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, with the mineral crystal that these watches have, and obviously the resin surround and stuff like that, it will pick up some battle scars along the way. It's just the nature of the material. But at the end of that, you've got to look at these watches. They are about £20, I would say, mate, give or take a couple of pound either way. They're around the £20 mark, so it's an affordable watch. And if it does get scars, and can use a bit of poly watch on the crystal, which isn't a problem. It does tend to get rid of most what would be most scratches or micro abrasions, but does tend to take it like a champ really. And I've got to say, these watches are great durable watches to wear as well. Now moving on to the display, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, very easy to read. And if you've got anything like the F91W, F105, or what would be the W86, it's very much along those lines. You've got the date at the top, you've got the time, and obviously it can be shown in 12 and 24 hours. And you've got indications of the alarm to the top left hand corner. Just very easy to read and very easy to understand. And the typeface, it's a nice legible typeface. And let me do the glasses off factor. I can make out the time at a certain distance or close as well, because obviously I wear varifocals. Yeah, not a problem. I can make the time out, no problem. There's nothing inhibiting your view of that screen, no kind of animations or anything other than the seconds, and I just found it very easy to, well, very user friendly to wear over the 30 days in June. Yeah, just superb. And obviously from a distance, I mean, you could probably hopefully make out the time from a distance. Yeah, very clear, so not a problem. Now I might as well talk about the functions on this watch. Again, what I will caveat with what I'm going to say next is that I don't tend to use a lot of the functions on watches. I mean, obviously stopwatch, maybe a timer if I really need it. I don't really use the alarms. I know it's really bad to say, but in 2024, you've got alarms on your phone that are very easy settable. But if you did want to use your watch for the alarm, easy. It's a single daily alarm that this watch has got, and it's also got an hourly signal, which means it will chime on the hour every hour. But in terms of the other function, it's got, I'm just going to just check, it's got a stopwatch that will count up to 60 minutes, which also got, you can indicate a split time as well, and also it'll do first and second finish times. And if you're wondering what that means, I've done a tutorial about this watch, so if you go to the description box below, it'll talk about it in depth there. But it's got a fair few functions, very much like the F91W. And the other function as well to mention, which is quite close to the F91W, is the backlight on this watch. Yeah, it's not very good, to be honest. You can kind of make it at the time, but it's not brilliant in any way, shape or form. I mean, it is very F91W, which this isn't far off in terms of the overall look and the functionality of it. But the only difference that this watch has got a water resistance up to 50 meters, so that is the massive plus over this watch. So it makes it a very versatile watch. Now I did wear this watch washing the car, doing the gardening, and washing dishes, having a shower and stuff like that. I had no problem whatsoever, and it just, again, it took it all like a champ. So it's got that little level up compared to what would be the iconic F91W, and you probably just pay a little bit extra for that kind of water resistance really over the two. So yeah, it's got it, and it does make the watch a lot more versatile. It's fairly accurate. It's never missed a beat in terms of time, so its accuracy is plus and minus 30 seconds per month, and I had no problem with this whatsoever over the month that I did wear it. And also, just to mention, it's got a 7-year battery as well, so great watch overall. But what would I say my experience, I'm just reading the experience of what it was over the month of June. Great experience overall. I didn't, it's very much like wearing the F91W. It's just great, but I just found it, I didn't worry as much in terms of going for a shower or washing the car or doing the dishes. I didn't worry as much as I did with the F91W, which I tended to take off, only because that's water resistance, where this has got a 50 meters water resistance. The other thing I will say, you'll probably find it's not as iconic, but as a watch that is slightly leveled up compared to the F91W, I think it is a great alternative. Now, as I say, I think it is around the £20 that I did see it on the Casio website. It's around 25. On Amazon and stuff like this, hovers around the 20, and the F91W tends to hover around 15. But if you look on Argos, you can get it for just over 10. So would I get that over the F91W? If water resistance was a thing for me, I wouldn't hesitate. I would get something like this watch, the W-59. I think it's a great watch to wear. Over the 30 days in June, I had no problems with it. I had no worry wearing it outside, doing stuff with this watch. And it took any kind of beating with the champ. It is, well, the display's gone off. It is a great watch to wear. But what I would say is, if I was looking for a watch that offers water resistance and also has a better backlight, I probably wouldn't go for this watch, and that is because you've got the W86. Now the W86 I'm just quickly showing you here is an overall phenomenal watch. I mean, it's probably one of my favorites out of all these watches, other than what I'm wearing for the month of July. It's that if you're after a watch with a backlight with water resistance, and it is cheaper, slightly cheaper than this watch if you're in here in the UK and you've got Argos, because I think it's around, they tend to be about £17, or they do tend to go down at certain times, and that's the W86. That watch is just, it does everything really that you need to do in a shape like this. But this isn't far from it. It's just a backlight that just lets it down just a touch. But overall, if you are considering this watch, and it is a comfortable watch to wear, it's got some very nice functions, stopwatch, daily alarm, I wouldn't hesitate in suggesting the W-59. But I would look at the W-86 as well at the same time, and just weigh up the two. If you want a better backlight, I'd go for that other watch. But in this instance, better than the F91W, just not as iconic. So yeah, great watch overall. So I hope this video was of some use to you, and if it was, then please click on the thumbs up. It always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos from the We Try Anything channel, then please click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video. I hope it was of some help to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.